Boys in the back. Boys.
What is good? We are back with another episode of The Boys in the Back, this time on July 3rd, July 4th Eve here in the States. I am 1/3 of The Boys in the Back. Mr. Connor Burks joined alongside me as always. You can see the hand reaching in to the frame there. Mr. New York Rick, Mr. Eric Jackman. How we doing, brother?
I'm good. I feel like we saw a lot of each other last week.
Yeah,
we spent a lot of intimate time.
Did you say
together.
last week? Just like the last like 10 days.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun, and
an absolute blast.
This feels like the cherry on top, and then we get a little extended weekend.
This really feels like the last day of school.
Yeah.
Like we're heading into a holiday weekend. The commute in was a little bit empty. The office is a little bit empty. 4th of July is tomorrow. This is like the very end, the last hurdle for us on this like insane stretch from a full week with Fanatics Fest and a full week out in Vegas to right back into it.
You know
now
what's
it feels
crazy?
like this is the one to finish it.
We're heading right back into PT coming into town, and then we got Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano to ramp up for.
We did all the planning for PT coming into town, and then the following week after that, it's UFC 318, Dustin Poirier's final fight, and then the week after that, it's the Abu Dhabi card, or is it the Saudi Arabia card, the Robert Whittaker RDR one? It just feels like feels like August is when we can kind of relax for a second.
Yeah, but then August is Hamza Chimaev versus DDP. Hamza's in the U.S. I'm very excited about that.
Frankie, how you doing back there, brother?
Couldn't be better.
Yeah. A man of many words.
It is the Abu Dhabi card.
A man of many words, yes. The Abu Dhabi card. That will be a great one. No UFC card this weekend. We're still coming off. I feel like everyone's still recovering from UFC 317, in my opinion. Card of the year to this point, and it was highlighted by Ilia Topuria knocking out Charles Oliveira in the very first round. So a discussion we wanted to have on the show today. Yes. Thumbnail says bigger than Conor. Is Ilia Topuria bigger than Conor McGregor? Absolutely not.
No,
absolutely not. He is. If you were mapping it out right now, the dude is not even in the same galaxy as a Conor McGregor. How big he got at his peak?
Yeah, and there is a question to be asked: can anybody ever kind of reach that?
With where the sport was when he blew up, the phenomenon that he truly was at the time, can anyone ever repeat it?
And I think a major reason for why that question would linger is he was the first. He was the guy that set the blueprint. Now, there have been other big stars before him, right? And there will be other big stars after him. But at the time that he came around in the way that he did it, it would be very hard to replicate that kind of lightning in a bottle. It was him and Ronda that were just these two outliers that, like, in the moment were perfect for what was needed from the UFC, from the sport, from the culture. And they completely took the ball and ran with it. I don't know if anybody will ever do it exactly the same, but I think there are ways we can kind of compare Ilia Topuria to Conor McGregor to see if he can do something else.
Or if he can do something similar in the stance of just getting the awe of the public and really starting to dive into that casual group to where he's fighting and people that rarely ever watch mixed martial arts are going to be watching. Because if you look at Conor McGregor, you mentioned it, like he was the first guy to get the double champ status, the simultaneous two belts, be able to
Which we should note, Ilia Topuria is not. He vacated his, in my mind, I consider him a double champion because he never lost that belt. I consider him a double champion, but on paper, he actually vacated that belt and is now only the lightweight champion. It's important to note that because there have only been a few people who have simultaneously held that belt. There have been more that have had championships in different weight classes. He is in that latter category.
He is a 2-division champion. Just looking at, everyone's very high on Ilia Topuria right now. The recency bias can take advantage of people. He just hit 11 million followers on Instagram. He is now the most followed active fighter, and he is now just widening that margin, and he's just getting bigger and bigger. The
active does some heavy lifting there.
The active does some heavy lifting. Conor McGregor has not fought in 4 years. Conor McGregor, 11 million followers. Conor McGregor is sitting at 47 million. And then in addition to that, he's got another 10.5 million on Twitter. His YouTube channel, The Mac Life, run by the great Oscar Willis, 1.61 million on YouTube. He owns a massive alcohol brand, or had stake in a massive alcohol brand with Proper Number 12. And then if you just go back and you look, in one of the most insane statistics ever. The top 10 most purchased pay-per-views in UFC history. This is according to Front Office Sports. Let's just start at number 10, UFC 194, Aldo versus McGregor.
Good one to have.
Number 9, Lesnar versus Mir, UFC 100. Tied for 7th, Usman Masvidal. Tied for 7th, Alvarez McGregor. Number 6, McGregor Diaz. Number 5, McGregor Cerrone. Number 4, Poirier McGregor 3. Number 2, Poirier McGregor 2. Tied for number 2, Diaz McGregor 2. And number 1, Nurmagomedov McGregor. So of that 10, Conor McGregor was in 8 of those.
There's an obvious thread there.
And the fact that he has 8 fights of over 1 million pay-per-view buys and 4 of 1.5 million plus, and then obviously the Habib almost 2.5 million. And then, he also went and fought Floyd Mayweather, which did like another 4 million pay-per-view buys. Like the dude is box office. He is as big as it gets that this sport has ever seen. 2018, he was the number 4 highest paid athlete in the world. And then 2021, he was the number 1 highest paid athlete in the world. He has reached echelons that we have never seen, and like you said, may never see again.
If we are doing the comparisons based on money generated, if we are doing pay-per-views and things like that, nobody will eclipse Conor McGregor, and I find it hard to believe that anybody will ever eclipse Floyd Mayweather in the sport of boxing. Those are the two standard bearers. Those are the guys that if you are looking at the top of the mountain, they're standing up there by themselves.
And you mentioned pay-per-view buys. In a way of viewing fights that I feel is starting to fade away, starting to die out. We've seen WWE have success with their premier live events rather than the pay-per-view model. There's a world where the UFC starts going in that direction as well. You see Turki Al-Sheikh in boxing making pay-per-views much more affordable for the common fan, so it's not these $80 insane revenue generators that we've seen in the past. And then one last thing about Conor McGregor, this screenshot of him just simply weighing in from UFC 229 against Habib Nurmagomedov,
which I believe was in front of a packed crowd.
Packed crowd it was, I think the entire arena was full. I want to say they were at MGM Grand in this one, and there is like 10,000 people there just to watch the dude do a ceremonial weigh-in.
We're not there.
All of that, and then on top of that, the mic skills.
No,
the mic skills were just unbelievable. Like he was just able to captivate an audience, not only in the octagon with the knockouts, with everything like that, but also on the microphone.
One thing I want to point out about the pay-per-view thing, we talked about, you mentioned like maybe that model's going away. I have to imagine that is, and that will not be the metric for success anymore, because that model is kind of antiquated and was based on like the best way to generate money when you were a fight promotion back then was to sell it directly and then take the profits from that. There's now so many things fighting for attention and so many other ways to monetize a product that the pay-per-view model no longer seems to be the kind of like silver bullet for generating money that it used to be. And also, you have so many other different tools that you can leverage to make money, whether it be you're with a broadcast partner who pays you things up front, whether it be the advertising that you're selling against in some of those broadcasts. There are so many different levers that organizations and companies and broadcast partners and anybody involved in the business of it can now utilize in order to generate money. The direct sale of the pay-per-view is no longer probably the most efficient way. Now, certainly the UFC and boxing to an extent have kept it in the diet because there is still a market for it and there still is a habit that is developed with consumers. But if we're going to measure anybody against Conor McGregor or, as I said in boxing, Floyd Mayweather moving forward, they will not stack up because that model has kind of like shifted a little bit. Now, there are other ways to measure how much money somebody generates, whether it be like these are the top stars when we were able to get XYZ dollar broadcast deal. These are the marketing spends that people have. These are the number of commercials and the actual direct money that advertisers and other sponsors and partners are willing to pay this individual or even the UFC. There are lots of different ways to cut this. And so I think as the tools to measure this develop, there will be ways to measure like how big an impact a star like an Ilia Topuria or even Tom Aspinall in the future and people like that are able to generate.
All right, now let's get into, can Ilia Topuria make an impact as large as Conor McGregor?
Why don't we start with where the resumes stand and then we'll go from there.
Okay, so Conor McGregor, when he became double champ,
yes,
after Eddie Alvarez,
that was the Eddie Alvarez fight. Yep,
that is essentially where Ilia Topuria is at in his career. He is 9-0 in the UFC. He won the featherweight title against Alex Volkanovski, defended it once, vacated it, and then just beat Charles Oliveira to become the lightweight champion. So he is now a 2-division champion, 9-0 in the UFC.
Beat what is considered the best featherweight of all time at the time, some people would still say Aldo. I believe I said the greatest. Volk. Let's put Volk and Max, the 2-pack of those, as at least equal to the best featherweight of all time, like Conor did with Aldo, and then went up to lightweight to face a game opponent, a veteran, somebody who had been around for a long time, and got that second belt. Again, just for the record and the clarity, Conor was holding both belts at the time. Ilia Topuria is not, due to circumstance, in my opinion. For all intents and purposes, in my mind, those two things are equal. This is the point that the roads split. This is the point where Conor McGregor decided, okay, I'm going to do the impossible.
So just to point out like how similar it is, they were both 28. McGregor was 9-1 in the UFC. The one
you
loss
said 9-0 for Ilia.
9-0 for Ilia.
Wow.
McGregor was 9-1. The one loss being to Nate Diaz, which he avenged in the very next fight, and then he goes on to beat Eddie Alvarez. All of that taking place in 2016. So both 28 years old, both 2-division champions, 9-1 in the UFC, 9-0 in the UFC. They're both at these points of like meteoric rise, as hot could possibly get, have that aura of invincibility around them. I know McGregor lost to Diaz, but obviously he went up to welterweight to take that fight. This aura of like, wow, these dudes are incredible. They're just gonna burn the brightest. But then to your point, this is where Conor's career kind of started diverging.
Yeah, and it is tied to the idea that when you listed off those top pay-per-views of all time, Conor McGregor was in a class of his own. He was now on the back of selling multi-million buy pay-per-view events over and over and over, to the point that even Floyd Mayweather in another sport is like, how do we capitalize on this? The other best seller of all time says, how do we capitalize on this? And they do business together and sell one of the biggest pay-per-views across all sports, across boxing or MMA or anything else that has come before. I believe it's only second to Mayweather and Pacquiao.
Yeah, it is. And I believe at this point in both their careers, if you just went after the Eddie Alvarez, McGregor is much larger than Topuria is now.
Certainly in terms of like Q rating, right? Like when we're looking at like who is more in the mainstream consciousness, who is somebody who is more pop culture, you could not walk anywhere without people quoting Conor McGregor, doing the billionaire strut thing. Like he just had developed this cult of personality that people were magnetized to. I don't think Ilia has transcended in that way yet. Certainly in the fight game, I think people's eyes are now open to the idea of, holy shit, like Ilia is the second coming, is the guy that is supposed to kind of carry this mantle forward. But generally, pop culture wise, is your mom texting you? You will get a text about Conor. I don't think at this point you're still yet getting that Ilia Topuria text, but you would for Conor.
My mom knows who Conor McGregor is. My mom probably does not know who Ilia Topuria is.
But how far away are we from your
That's
mom
the
knowing?
question. That is what I want to know. So 2015 is when McGregor knocks out Aldo, like Superstar in 2016 is when the double champ, everything, 9 years later. So in jest, the Show Me the Money podcast, obviously Moicanos runs a great meme account, by the way, if you're not following them on socials. But they sort of tweeted in jest, mapping out Ilia Topuria until 2035 if he went the same route as Conor. Okay, this would be him going to fight Canelo, essentially, lose but make $100 million, start a tequila company or some sort of liquor company. You come back to MMA and you fight Islam Makhachev. You get submitted. Then you come back and you fight a 40-year-old Beneil Dariush. This is akin to the Donald Cerrone fight. You win that one, and then you fight Volkanovski twice, lose the first one, and then break your leg in the second one.
When you look at that on paper, it is a bit rough when you do obviously make the leap to what Conor
and all that
McGregor's
would have been done by
into.
2021, and then we would have gone fightless since 2031.
You have to imagine that the path for Ilia Topuria does not go that way. Now, maybe it does. Maybe some weird circumstances happen, but you do have to imagine that it doesn't, and he continues to be an active MMA fighter. But it's something I said about John Jones, and I think it will apply to Ilia Topuria, is sometimes Conor McGregor's time out of the ring may have served him better to a certain degree and worse to another degree. Worse because, hey, we want to see him fight and we want him to get reps and we want to see him continue to build his legacy. Better in certain aspects because the more you fight, the more opportunities there is somebody to knock you off that perch. And so Conor McGregor was able to be shielded a little bit from that and capture the imagination. certainly I think the Khabib loss was a big hit, right? Because not to his star power, not to his career, but a big hit to, can this guy be the magical guy that he was before? Then he comes back, and the Cerrone fight kind of makes people go, oh shit, like maybe he is back, and maybe that Khabib camp was as bad as we had heard. And then the Dustin Poirier fights happen, and it kind of, from there, the fighter aspect of Conor McGregor kind of became secondary to the celebrity aspect of Conor McGregor. But in that intermediary period, from that like 2017, 2018, 2019 period, he wasn't super active. And so we still had this vision of Conor McGregor as this guy who could come in and left-hand anybody. And so if Ilia Topuria continues to stay active, he doesn't have the benefit of that, right? Every single time out for Ilia Topuria now is going to be an absolute killer. It's going to be the Khabibs. It's going to be the Khabib-level guys. If it is Islam Makhachev, it is nearly an identical kind of equivalent in terms of what we're looking at. And that is tough. That is the toughest thing to do.
And not only that,
tough.
not only
Shut up.
not only is it going to be absolute killers, to me, the stakes will just continue to rise. Each time with that undefeated record on the line, you're just going to become a bigger and bigger star. And each time you win, each time you ether a dude, you put a dude into the shadow realm where they don't know where they are. Each time you go out after that, it's going to be someone hunting for your head. And can they pull off the unbelievable and be the one that gives Ilia Topuria or takes Ilia Topuria's O from him?
Not only that, but there's more tape on you, right? Now we've seen you more times. And this is one of the things that happened to John Jones, which is like, this dude's been fighting since he was 5 years old, seemingly. He was a champion, the youngest champion ever. There's a lot of tape on John Jones. And now, as your reflexes are slowing, these people are watching more tape on you. These title defenses, these opportunities become harder and harder and harder. So every time Ilia Topuria steps in there, he's giving more and more information to his opponents. This will only escalate. Now, to this point, though, what we've seen from Ilia Topuria is as the stakes go up, he gets better. Which is scary to think about. Now, not only is an opponent getting more tape on him, but he is also getting more octagon time. He is getting more experience. He hasn't fought that many minutes in the octagon because of how easily he's able to kind of do his work, and it is seemingly getting easier. So there's this very interesting, very exciting thing happening with him that I can't say that I'm as excited to see how it plays out with anybody else in MMA right now.
There's no one that's more fascinating to me right now than Ilia Topuria. Like he's got the combination of the look, the backing of Spain and Georgia, the way that he fights, the confidence, the charisma, everything is going his direction, and he's knocking people absolutely out cold, which is a very fan-friendly way to win fights. Now, on the flip side of me saying the stakes get bigger, the risk gets bigger, the reward also gets bigger.
Sure.
Every time you go out there and you add another win into that column and that zero stays there and you're just taking out people and you're racking up title defenses, your star power only gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and more people want eyes on it. Say he gets like 3 or 4 title defenses at lightweight. It starts becoming like, wow, this dude is undeniable.
I think he would have a similar kind of rocket ship in the way that Alex Pereira did, right? Alex Pereira was kind of this guy who was brought in to be the foil to Israel Adesanya and ended up being his own thing. He ended up being a superstar in his own right. But it happened quick, and as it happened, he started burning brighter and brighter and brighter. You see him going to Korea and all these other places, and there's an absolute mob just to be in the presence of Alex Pereira. Like people started texting me about Alex Pereira. We do that like tests, right? Is our family and friends who don't follow texting. Yep. I've gotten Alex Pereira tests. I've still yet to see the Ilia Topuria text, but I have to imagine it is not far away because of what he was able to do to Charles. And now the people starting to pass around the viral highlights, some of the colder lines that people have kind of latched onto that he said. The aura, the presence, the picture, just even the picture of him holding 2 belts. There's going to be this kind of swell that's coming, and now it's up to him to continue the job. Can anybody ultimately eclipse Conor? I don't think so. I just don't see a world where you can recapture that lightning in a bottle in that perfect storm. But can he do something in the sport of MMA, the legacy, the resume side? I think he has an opportunity to do something that nobody has ever done before in terms of like triple champ thing. If he can go up to 170, and he's been talking about it, don't get me wrong. I had concerns about his size at 155. I have major concerns if he is going to fight somebody at 170. But he has long expressed that he's going to fight Islam Makhachev no matter what. That is the fight that he wants to fight. He wants to go up to 170 and take that belt if he can. that to me puts you in a status and a company that nobody else is in, and can start to make that conversation a little bit closer, at least in terms of Conor McGregor. Because as we're talking about now, when we talk about Conor, we talk about the epic run and then the business. But the latter half, that's the part that kind of gets washed away, because that's the downside of the Conor McGregor experience. That's the part that we don't really want to talk about, because there's not much other than bad stuff to kind of talk about. And so if Ilia Topuria can put some distance between himself and everybody else in terms of what the point from here looks like, he's going to be talked about as one of the GOATs if he's not already kind of in that conversation. But what he does from here has a major impact on that.
All right, you mentioned Conor McGregor, the business, and then you also mentioned Alex Pereira and how bright he started burning, going to Korea, going to Australia, doing all these things. The bigger Ilia Topuria gets, the more directions he's going to get pulled in. The more distractions he's going to have, the more opportunities he's going to have to capitalize on this fame to make even more money, generational wealth for him and his family. You know, you see the HBO doc, everything coming out like that. So it really is just like, the longer this goes on, the more just like each time he steps in, it's just going to become that much bigger. And you saw it with Alex Pereira. The star power was burning so bright, especially going into that Magomed Ankalaev fight. He gets a loss, and it's like, Poatan is still a massive star. Next time he fights, people will be watching, but it dulls it heavily. There is no argument against that. So it's almost just like, does Ilia Topuria have that star power and that charm and that charisma to push through the losses? Because Conor McGregor loses. He loses to Floyd Mayweather, comes back to MMA, loses to Khabib Nurmagomedov. But then you look at the Donald Cerrone fight. You look at the two Poirier fights. Those are both top 10 pay-per-view buys of all time. People still want to see him regardless of the wins and losses. Does Ilia Topuria have that star power?
You laid it out perfectly, because this is a momentum conversation. That is how this thing works. When you have that rock, you need to run with it as far and as hard as you possibly can. And that is what Conor McGregor did, right? Every opportunity, he turned into a bigger one, and then parlayed that into a bigger one, and a bigger one, and a bigger one. Even coming back to fight Khabib Nurmagomedov, that was a massive fight. That was the UFC's biggest fight. So everything was an escalation. Even if you stumble, he turned the rematch with Nate Diaz into the biggest thing. And so that is Ilia Topuria's path. Even if he is going to stumble, and you made a great point that like there will be things that you can trip over. That is how this is going to go. He's going to be pulled in a lot of different directions. You're going to be trying to make all the money you can in the prime of your career, but there's going to be lots of opportunities for you to stumble. If Ilia Topuria can continue to sprint this way and not stumble, he's going to be golden for a long time. Even if he does stumble, though, what he has to do is regain that momentum. And you do that by getting back in the cage. You don't do that by taking the time off. You don't do that by disappearing. You need to. We saw this with Ronda Rousey, right? There was a call for her to kind of like address the media after her defeat and kind of talk, and she didn't want to. She was in a dark place and in a hole, and so there was a souring on her. And Conor McGregor took an opposite approach. Like every time Conor McGregor had a stumble, he went back out there and was like, okay, I need to get my lick back against Diaz. I need to hop back in here and show the people that I'm still the biggest fighter in the world. That is what Ilia Topuria will have to do. Now, I'm not predicting a stumble anytime soon. I thought maybe coming up to lightweight, maybe the size was going to be a potential stumbling block. It was not. He was able to overcome that quite easily. Charles Oliveira, a rather big lightweight, and he made it look easy there. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's many obstacles in his path. Maybe one will develop. But either way, he needs to continue this momentum, and I don't see anything that could stop him from doing it right now.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just, it's mind-boggling to think how quickly he's become this big. And I actually think because it feels like he's done everything right up to this point, even when he wins, the way he talks about the win, you know, someone asked him if he thinks he's invincible, and he's like, nah, of course I'm not invincible. I know I'm not invincible. That's why I work so hard to develop my craft. I do feel confident in him continuing to do the right thing, even if he does lose.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like when Izzy started losing, people were like shocked by the way that he carried himself after a loss, being you know, graceful to his opponent, having this sportsmanship about it. It feels like even if Ilia Topuria loses, he will handle that properly as well.
The best thing that can happen to Ilia from here is a true rivalry developing, right? And maybe Paddy Pimblett can be that.
Or maybe
Islam.
I was
going to
say maybe it's him and Islam circling each other.
Sure.
But I am with you. A massive rivalry, a massive, like, the biggest thing about him versus Islam, and I don't know if the stars will align properly for it, but a pound for pound 1 versus 2 type matchup, because that almost feels like the fight for the face of the UFC. It feels like Ilia and Islam is right here. I think Ilia's style and charm and charisma is much more, works better for the common fan as opposed to Islam. But it feels like that could be a fight to be the face of the UFC.
Yeah, and that's almost been Islam's problem to this point, is he hasn't had that rival. Like the Volkanovski first fight, I think made people go, okay, can this be the one? And then the second fight kind of quickly put that to bed. Maybe Ilia Topuria can be that for Islam, and maybe Islam could be that for Ilia Topuria. We'll see. And maybe it's Paddy Pimblett. Maybe I'm counting him out too early. Maybe the Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria rivalry is the one that has the most legs. That will be the best thing for Ilia, in the way that Nate Diaz in that rivalry was absolutely incredible for Conor McGregor. So the game plan is there, the playbook is there, the momentum is there. Ilia Topuria has every opportunity in front of him to put himself in rarefied air and make himself one of the legends of this sport, if he's not already kind of considered in that class. And it remains to be seen how this will all play out. But I'm fairly confident that he will make the right moves in the lead up to those opportunities.
It's going to be fascinating to watch. It feels like for the beginning half of this year, we have been questioning whether or not the UFC has any stars, and they're in this star drought. Here's one right here that has the potential to become a superstar.
Yeah, and I think, again, the metric for how we measure stars is going to have to change. It is no longer just like, does this person sell pay-per-views? There's a lot of other aspects that go into this. I would expect that the UFC maybe starts to invest more now, right? They've kind of, in the early days, when we're talking about Conor McGregor, when we're talking about Ronda Rousey, there was a very clear push, even like a Sage Northcutt. There was a very clear UFC saying, we want to market this person. We want to push them as far as we possibly can. We're going to put the power of the promotion behind them. We're going to put the resources behind them. I haven't yet kind of like seen or felt that with Ilia Topuria necessarily. It feels much more so like the modern UFC is kind of a sink or swim. Like, we're going to give you the platform. You do whatever you need to do, and that will be the result, right? If you can capture it in the way that Alex Pereira did, if you can steal it away and make it your own, you will be able to run with it. But they don't necessarily kind of like put the chips behind XYZ person. I think that will change, because I think Ilia Topuria will force that.
It feels like it's starting a little bit.
Yeah.
Posting the knockout after it happens.
That's an
By
example
the way,
of
is that
one.
like 13 or 14 million views?
Yep.
But then if you look at Conor McGregor, he has like 3 of the top 5
course he
videos
does.
on UFC channel of all time. But like posting the knockout, allowing him to post the knockout on all his socials. As soon as the fight's ended, he posts the 17-0 with the clip of the knockout. Being able to bring Paddy Pimblett into the cage, kind of hyping that up, walking around with the 2 belts, everything like that. It feels like they are starting to back him and really realize what they have on their hands.
Yeah, and the other thing about Conor was that he was kind of like omnipresent at that time. It would be like he's going to other fights, he's on Twitter kind of making noise. It felt like Conor McGregor was just like the presence over the sport. Ilia Topuria can kind of be that. I mean, he does a press conference every 4 hours, so maybe that would be the way to kind of stay in the public eye.
My hot take is that he actually doesn't do that many press conferences.
I mean, I've seen quotes from 10 at least last week.
He's doing his promo for WOW, his fighting organization in Spain.
That's the one that he walked out at.
Which he's walked out at several times. I think he walked out with the president of Spain.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
there you go. Continue to do those things. Let those things kind of pick up traction. It's great if he has business ventures like that promotion, it's perfect for those as well.
It's now getting to the point now, too, where like he is such a star. He's backing up all the talk in the octagon. And he's starting to drop these lines, these like cold one-liners that now you want to hear him speak. You want to hear what he has to say.
I will say that's the one area where the magic that Conor had is yet to be kind of like captured and replicated. It's such a separate thing.
McGregor like put together, like you can sit and watch like a 40-minute highlight reel of him just talking shit. I don't know if anybody will ever be able to recreate that, like the smoothness with which he talked trash and the viralness of the clips that he put out. I don't think anybody will ever be able to recreate it, but some of these lines from Ilia are just like, God, this dude is cold-blooded. This dude is cold-blooded.
The other thing, and we said it when we talked about like the run and the resume and the double champ, he was the first. He was the one, like he was not the first trash talker, right? Chael Sonnen kind of had made an incredible name for himself, especially in the Anderson Silva rivalry. Before that, I know this will sound hard to believe, but there was a time where Tito Ortiz was like pretty good on the mic and trash talking. Those days long behind us. He's not the first trash talker. Muhammad Ali, obviously, if we go to the other sports, but he did it in such a unique way that now has kind of become the blueprint. Like everything else with Conor McGregor, that path is the one that kind of other fighters are trying to replicate. It will be hard to do it again, but I like the way Ilia does it differently. I think that will serve him to not just be a Conor McGregor clone, right? To not just be the guy who we're making all these parallel comparisons about the way he's fighting and the knockouts and the resume and the record and the double champ. To be a little bit different, even if it's just as simple as the trash talk, even if it's just as simple as how he carries himself, I think that will help him because it doesn't have to be baby Conor, Conor Jr.
I think this is where he'll really start to separate himself in his career because the comparisons are there. Like the grabbing of the belt against Volk, the chest tattoos, like all these things, because I don't think there is an Ilia Topuria without a Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
I think he was clearly inspired by the things that Conor McGregor was able to do. And some of that, copycat, best, sincerest form of flattery. I think that there is that, but now I think he's going to be able to develop his own individualism in his star power.
And we also kind of need those things to make sense of stuff. We need to compare it to something so we have like an understanding. Conor's the easiest comparison because it seems the most like it. It seems the most equivalent. But I, like you, believe that Ilia is going to do things that Conor did not and is going to put himself in a different category.
It's going to be fascinating to watch.
But no, he is not bigger than Conor.
Of course not. No. We will get comments on this video of people that watch 6 seconds of it, and they're just like, what a dumb conversation. Of course he's not bigger than Conor. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate that one. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be fascinating to watch. No, he is not bigger than Conor. Could he be bigger than Conor? Probably not. But could he be a superstar with which the UFC has not seen in a while?
Let me ask you
Absolutely.
Something. When we talk about bigger, you got me thinking. When you said like, could he be? What is bigger, right? What if Ilia Topuria goes on to be 25-0? Let's call it 30. Let's say he passes Habib. Let's say he's 30-0.
Okay.
Has the most incredible resume we've ever seen in MMA. Becomes an ambassador for the sport, like a GSP, right?
Yeah.
What if he just becomes somebody who is a representative of the sport and is somebody who is out there pushing the sport and showing people what can be the positive route to success? Would you consider that bigger?
Honestly, if he gets to 30-0, I think he will be bigger than him.
Me too. And I think there's a way. I think not 30-0 seems impossible at the moment, but he has made the impossible look possible. But I think there's a world where Ilia Topuria or somebody else can come along and do something to impact the sport and to impact culture in a way beyond the fighting and a way beyond kind of like the things that Conor McGregor is known for in terms of the trash talk and stuff like that. But then there's other things that Conor McGregor is known for that are not positive, that are not a representation of what you'd want around the sport. And so maybe there's a package there where Ilia Topuria can put everything together in the cage, be as good as anybody who has ever done it, but then also transcend that and be an ambassador for culture and sports and all these things worldwide. Maybe that's the route.
Only time will tell. Who knows what we'll be talking about him when we talk about Ilia Topuria in 3 years, 5 years?
I'm so excited to see it, though.
Oh, fascinating.
I've been trepidatious, but now I'm all in.
Nah, I'm all in. I can't wait to see what happens. So yeah, time will tell.
Yes.
Time will tell, but there is a lot of potential.
The potential is limitless.
The potential really, truly is limitless. Shout out to this IFB, Frankie. It really is. It's something. It's something.
What happened to our IFBs, Frank?
Do we want to get into that?
Yeah,
all right. We'll save it. All right, let's go to a recap of 317. We can talk about Parlay Pals and my bets, both which included one Ilia Topuria. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go to recap of the old bets last week. Not a bad week for old CB. Yeah, kind of a small picture there. I had a lot of action down on 319, but yeah, the only picks that I missed was Denise by KO TKO, which should have had. I mean, he should have knocked out Alvin Hines. He had several chances, and then the under 1.5 in the Nico Price Jacoby Smith fight. Those were actually the 2 first fights of the night, and I looked at Rick and I was like, "Fuck me, tough start to the night, man." I lost 2 bets right out of the gate. Didn't lose another bet for the night. Finish up 9.11 units. Biggest night of the year. Up over 60 units all time. Won profitable every single week in June. Don't let the cake get hot. Don't let the cake get hot. People love to, sometimes jump in, clown the old boy on like, man, you suck at your bets. It's just like, do I? Because like, it's just like the stock market. It's just like this inevitable rise. Yeah, we have the ebbs, we have the flows, we go down, but like at the end of the day, we always go up. When I started tracking on this in 2023 on BetMMA.tips because people were like, you have to do this, you're lying, even though we would give the bets out the week before and then we would recap on Monday every single week, got up over 100 units on the MMA Hour. That is what it is. Call me fake. So we started on BetMMA Tips. At one point, started 2023 horrifically. Get down 32 units after Strickland versus Abus Magomedov. 2 years later, we're up 92 units since then. So, I mean, it's what it is. I mean, just proven profitability over the last 4 years, but continue to tell me I don't know what I'm doing. Please, continue to tell me. It's all good. It's all good. Continue to tell me.
Plus, give them out for free.
Give them out for free week after week after week after week, every single UFC card for the last 4 years. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. No worries over here. No worries over here. You're just motivating me that much more. It's all good. Parlay Pals. Also hit. Let's go. On top of the run I'm on, I've also hit like 8 or 9 straight Parlay Pals picks. Everyone
I was on a nice run at the end of 2024. I think I faltered this year, but I'm doing all right.
Yeah, there's a win, and it looks like the next card we're going to have another chance to get in the green. UFC Nashville. Is that when we finally get in the green?
I think so.
Fingers crossed. Pete in person has to give us a winning pick. It is required. He's going to take Kaylee Taylor money line.
Well, that'd be okay. Last time in person, we got the famous Marab pick out of him to start it off. So.
Very true. So it was a good week all around. UFC 317, unbelievable card. Great results in the betting. Had fun watching it. Got 3 Apex posters signed. But we weren't the only ones that hit big with our posters. We also have the big hitters for this week. Got to shout out some people. What's new?
Mr. Electrocute.
Mr. Electrocute, Art C, and Jay Singh made the big hitters because they are 2 of the sharpest guys in the entire space. Up over $30,000 on this card. Here's his main card parlay. Plus $1,393. Peyton Talbot, Beneil Dariush, Josh Van, Alejandro Pantoja, Ilia Topuria. Bang, 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 bang. 5 for 5. 250 into 3,700. He sent me several other slips, but this is the one we're featuring. Next up, the GOAT. The GOAT. Jay Singh, because not included in the track bets are also the takedown prop bets that I get from this guy on a weekly basis that have won me thousands. This guy strictly gives out bet slips. That's all he does. Follow him on Twitter for free. Jay Singh. All he does is post bet slips that you can follow along with. And I know you guys love parlays. Everybody loves a big payout parlay. That's pretty much all he gives out. He hits Beneil Dariush, 4+ takedowns, 800 into 10,400. He hits a takedown prop parlay, under on Peyton Talbot's, under on Josh Van, under on Renato Moicano, under on Kai Kara France, under on Ilia Topuria, 1,300 into 11,000.
Kai Kara tried to blow that one.
Kai Kara tried to blow that one. I was actually riding that one with him. I was pretty heavily exposed on that. So yeah, when Kai Kara grabbed up Pantoja, if you watch the watch party back, I'm like, what is he doing? It wasn't just about strategy. I was really hoping he wouldn't get a takedown. And then he also did Topuria inside the distance, Rodriguez in rounds 1 and 2. Fight to go the distance on Hyder Emil and Jose Delgado, and Terrence McKinney, Slava Claus under 1.5, plus 724, 1,400 into 11,542. It's a weekly thing with this guy. Even if you don't take his bets, it's worth following along just to see what he's on. And he's very consistent. Pretty much posts them every Thursday. Guy's a fantastic follow. Let's keep rolling. At Wins and Lessons, he goes Josh Van, Pantoja, Ilia Topuria, 1,000 into 3,200. And then he goes 7,500 bones on a Pantoja Ilia Topuria parlay. Turns that into 13,331. No lessons this time, just wins for him. Let's keep it rolling. With Roland Takes, $50 into 3,100. Beneil Dariush by decision, plus 260. Josh Van by decision, plus 170. Pantoja by submission, plus 240. Ilia Topuria by knockout, minus 155. $50 into 3,100. Shout out to him. Next up. Irish Springy, 200 into 6,700. Delgado, Talbot Lima goes the distance. Dariush by points. Van, Pantoja Kai Kara France starts round 3, a little bit dicey. Ilia Topuria inside the distance, 200 into almost $7,000. A couple more here. JCR XITT, $100 into 3,420. Delgado by KO. That one hit quick. Josh Van by points. Pantoja by submission. Parlayed them all up. Turn $100, a bonus bet too. $100 bonus bet into 3,400 real American dollars. Then we have PJ SK 788. Yeah, you know, a couple McDoubles into 1653. He goes Talbot by points, Beneil Dariush by points, Josh Van by points, Pantoja by submission, and no, the main event will not go the distance. So 4 for 4 on methods in the main card, and then the main event not going the distance. Last one on the pictures, Ruth Dog 250 into 412, McKinney sub round 1, Cortez by points, Talbot by points, Topuria KO round 1. Unbelievable stuff from all of them. We have 2 left though. Marky Nude. So long, we had to turn them into a video. Here he goes. Oh yeah. Plus 10,000 turns $97 into 10K. Look at all these. Liam Paro, Jordy Smith. I don't even know what that is. Is that track and field? Western Bulldogs. Is that rugby? Gold Coast Suns. Hawthorne. Gilberto Ramirez. Then you see Pantoja, Jake Paul, Ilia Topuria inside the distance, and some more track. Unreal stuff. And then he hits one more. This guy sends it to me every week. He's like, oh, who else was hitting 20-leg parlays? I'm like, I don't know, man. You, I guess. Here's $70 into 3,000. Talbot, Dariush, Gilberto Ramirez, Josh Van, the Melbourne Storm. Who the fuck is that? Ilia Topuria,
Adelaide Crows.
Adelaide Crows, shout out. And then Fremantle. I mean, the guy's a nut. Shout out to Marky Nude.
Impressive.
Shout out to all the big hitters, man. Always get really good ones after
There was some good action after that one. Yeah.
Always get some good ones after the pay-per-view. Shout out to everyone that hit big, including myself. No big deal, whatever. Just keep down the kid. All right, let's move on to pound-for-pound rankings. In honor of the 4th of July here in the States, tomorrow we will be ranking the best American fighters. Frankie, what's the order?
Well, I'm glad you asked because the order today is Rick,
Okay.
Connor,
Wow.
and Frank.
You're going
Frank last?
That's exactly right.
Wow. I'm thrown for a loop here.
This is developing.
He said best list has to go last, and he put himself last.
All right, I'm looking forward to this.
All right, let's kick this off here.
Open up a schnitzel here.
A what?
Schnitzel.
Ariel always calls beers something, and I can never remember what.
Oh, I don't know.
Starts with an SH.
Schnitzel.
No, it's not schnitzel. It's like schnoodle or something. Also, shout out to the Nathan's hot dog shirt. Can't wait for that tomorrow.
That is an impressive one. Did you get it at the Nathan's?
At the event 2022, I went. Don't recommend to anyone going. It's really shitty. You can't see anything. It's overcrowded, but sure, it's great. Shout out. Can't wait for tomorrow. Have way too much money on the Patrick Bertelli over.
Who is Patrick Bertelli? Just one of the...
He's the guy that won last year.
All right, shut up. Wait, isn't Joey Chestnut in this one?
Yeah, but he's not going to win, so I just took his over.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Joey's going to win, right? We think.
Yeah, took it at 50 and a half. It's up to 53 and a half. I'm a sharp. No.
All right. Number 5, kicking it off. I mean, there was only one person that could kick this off for me. When you talk about undisputed, there's only one name that's done it in 3 different weight classes. Men, women, aliens. Doesn't really matter. But she is born right here in the US of A. The one, the only, the GWOAT, Claressa Shields.
Woo!
Thank you, Frank. I mean, that's how I feel too. Maybe you're off the Amanda Serrano bandwagon. You can join me on the Claressa Shields bandwagon. That's American greatness right there, and that's an MMA fight. That I was pointing out before.
2-1 in MMA.
2-1 in MMA. Tested herself.
In
MMA, but also, I mean, look at the hardware. The GWOAT. I mean, this is not even counting, Olympic gold medal.
Olympic gold medals.
So
sure. Nice pick.
Claressa Shields, the GWOAT, had to be on my list. Had to kick it off. Number 4 for me. New York's own legend of the game. Saw him fight recently against one Jake Paul. That is Mike Tyson. Iron Mike Tyson. I obviously was not around during his prime. It came more on the as I was older and going back to the footage, and then obviously I saw a lot of the Lewis, Holyfield, that era of Mike Tyson. But even as a youngster, I was aware of Mike Tyson, the ferocity, the knockout power. There was enough out there that I was able to kind of quickly understand who Mike Tyson was and what Mike Tyson was about. And one of the scariest fighters on earth at that time. Now one of the cuddliest uncle dudes that we have, and this very reflective kind of interesting character. But when I thought of knockouts at that time, when I thought about boxing, Mike Tyson was the name that came to mind. I was a little later. Muhammad Ali was never like. I have a lot of reverence for Muhammad Ali. I have since becoming older, going back and learning a lot more about Muhammad Ali. I have a lot of reverence. But as a youngster, it was Mike Tyson that was more like solidified in my brain. Number 3. This was my favorite fighter. I think it's become a little more complicated, but BJ Penn. BJ Penn, an absolute prodigy. Like we talk about the Conor McGregors and we talk about the Ilia Topurias and anybody who's come, even John Bones Jones. This was the real prodigy. This was the guy that at 19, 20 was making a splash on the grappling scene and making a foray into the UFC and MMA and just completely took it over. One of the most naturally talented guys. There was a lot of questions about motivation, but in terms of natural talent and his ability to just perform at a young age, way beyond his years, and advance quickly, he was the guy. And the prodigy was a completely fitting nickname. He is the one who made me fall in love with the sport of MMA. So, although it has gotten quite sad and kind of dark in recent years, especially with the mental health issues that he's very clearly going through, he meant a lot to me and my fandom, and was an absolutely incredible fighter. BJ Penn. Number 2. And this one is akin to, I did my British boxers list and I kind of just did like my favorites and the ones that I remember the best and excited me the most. This guy is akin to like the Prince Nassim for me. He is the American Prince Nassim. He is the one who put on the most exciting shows that you could see anywhere. Now, record for record, he was putting on way harder fights and beating way better competition, especially in multiple weight classes. That is the only Roy Jones Jr. If you've never seen the Roy Jones Jr. highlight reel, if you're too young to have known what Roy Jones Jr. was like in his prime, it was quite simply magic. The things that he was doing, the way he was moving, the knockout power, also the flash, the being partnered with Jordan Brand. He was just so effortlessly cool. Roy is a legend and one of the greatest fighters ever. And I also just love this picture of him with this rooster. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the concept was behind this photo shoot, but I love this picture as I was looking for it on Getty. But yeah, Roy Jones Jr. highlight reel is one for the ages. And
great musician.
And also an incredible musician. Y'all must have forgot about Roy Jones Jr. Number 1, another person who's had kind of a complicated career and a complicated recent run, John Bones Jones. John Bones Jones to me is the apex of fighting. He is the one, if you point to anybody who has fought the best at any point in time, across boxing, across MMA, across anything, John Jones is the gold standard. He is the best that we have ever seen. And so while the end of this career has been twisty and turny and not looked good for him, inside the cage, the product that he put on, John Jones is my number 1 American fighter of all time.
Love it.
Solid, man.
It's a solid list. You got something planned back there, Frankie. I know you do. I don't know what it is, but I'm skeptical of what's going on here. You're not going first for the first time ever. All right, let me rip my list, and then we can get to Frankie's. Number 5, double champ. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I was gonna.
Quick trigger. Sorry.
I was gonna have a bit of a build up there.
You said double champ
Yeah.
DC. You know,
well, it's Daniel Cormier, doubles champion. One of the greatest we've seen in this sport. Has fought the best of the best. Light heavyweight, heavyweight. At one point was like 19-1 in his career. Truly one of the best mixed martial artists. One of the best fighters that America has ever seen. One of the most accomplished as well. Daniel Cormier coming in at number 5. Number 4, my exact same 4 as you.
Oh,
Mr. Mike Tyson. Maybe he's not one of the best boxers ever, but one of the most entertaining, one of the most captivating, one of the most hard-hitting power punchers of all time. Must-see television. Mike Tyson. Rep the Stars and Stripes very well. Number 3, on the Mount Rushmore of mixed martial arts. One of the best to ever do it. Demetrius Johnson. 11 title defenses over in the UFC, goes over to 1 championship, wins their bantamweight championship of the world. Just an absolute killer. One of the most accomplished mixed martial artists of all time, respected throughout the entire field. Your favorite fighter, Demetrius Johnson is one of the most respected combat sports athletes in the history of the game, American or not. So he makes my list of top American fighters. Number 2, again, similar to Mike Tyson, maybe not the greatest of all time, but the cultural impact that this man had, the way that he captivated his audience, the way that he grew the sport. Muhammad Ali, number two, for my pound for pound best American fighters. The impact that this man had on boxing is something that cannot be overstated, and we probably will never see again with the popularity that boxing currently has. He changed the game, period. I mean, one of the biggest stars ever, and to do it repping the Stars and Stripes.
Change culture.
Change culture.
A legend.
I mean, still, people that have never watched his fights know exactly who he is and the impact that he had. Muhammad Ali, number two. And then my number one, we're just going on best fighters. It's checkered, but man, he is, if not the best, one of the best to ever do it, John Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just unbelievable. His resume within the confines of the octagon speaks for itself. John Jones, best American fighter.
I love it.
And there's the list.
Damn solid list.
All right, Frank, let's hear what you got, man.
All right, well, I think for my list, starting at number 5 is not too dissimilar to yours, Connor. I actually got Demetrius Johnson on there. Mighty Mouse himself. Love it. Then going into my number 4, Dustin Poirier. Because nothing says American more than Dustin.
Other than these other three above.
Yeah.
Then there's my number 3. I love her to death. Kayla Harrison, Olympic gold medal. Gotta love it. Here's an image of her.
Gotta love it.
That's the image.
You all right back
And
there,
then my
Frank?
number 2, I'm trying to figure out what happened there. My number 2 can't get any more American than this. It's old Chuck Norris himself.
Okay.
Martial artist extraordinaire. And
I guess it counts.
I mean, it counts a lot. This guy is a fighter, and he's all-American. He even is looking out for our best interest after his retirement.
How do you not have the picture of him in
check
front of
it
the
out.
American flag with the guns?
I did.
Hi, I'm Chuck Norris.
Hi,
This is my
Jesus
wife, Gina. We are here to talk about a growing concern we all share.
Oh, what
Look at
are
American
we
If we look to history, our great country and freedom are under attack. We're at a tipping point, and quite possibly our country as we know it may be lost forever if we don't change the course our country is headed.
We have to show respect to Chuck Norris. He's all-American.
What's the rest of that, though?
Yeah, it's not important.
What's the rest of
He
it,
says
Frank?
something about if we don't change the course of history, we're going to
Yeah,
take
but
our
what
first
is the
step
course
into the
that we got to change?
No, we can't. He says that we will take our first step into 1,000 years of darkness.
Okay, but what do we need to change? That's the most important part. He's outlined that there's a problem. What is the problem that we need to change?
Whatever
Listen,
it is,
man, this is Frank's list. Let him cook.
whatever it is, I'm down for it.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie, Frank. My stomach got a little bit naughty there when you were playing that. I thought you were going to let the entire thing play.
Oh, God, no. And then number 1, and this is kind of a newer addition to the American fighting roster, is the U.S. postal worker. Which the best way to describe this is...
Oh, wow.
what a
Frank.
segue.
What a segue.
I love
We head
it.
right into
Now I see
voicemails
why he
now.
went last. My favorite thing about Frank's list is just in general. By the way, great list, Frank. You did very well, and I appreciate the segue there. My favorite thing about Frank's list is there's a certain point where he's run out of things to say, and he always goes, "You can't get more blank than blank," and then there's 3 options left to go every time.
Is there anyone that is worse at describing things than Frank? Just like the absolute lack of detail. Yep, Demetrius Johnson. So there's that. Number 4 doesn't get more American than Dustin Poirier. And then 2 picks later, you can't possibly get more American than Chuck Norris.
It's crazy how it works.
All right, voicemails.
Hey, what's up, boys in
trying
the
to get
back?
outta here,
This
man.
is Colana from Big Island, Hawaii.
Hawaii.
GC, well, I love you guys' show, and GC, it's Mauna Kea. It's pronounced Mauna Kea, not Mauna Kea. But I love you guys' show, and I'm actually up on Mauna Kea right now.
Wow.
Oh,
But, yeah,
shit.
peace out, you guys. Love you guys' show.
Shout out. On a hill.
On a hill.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Hayden and Michaela from North Carolina.
Wow,
Shout out.
Couple
We love listening to you guys.
What the fuck?
Yep,
Let's
every
go.
week. We just had something to say about the mountains versus hills thing.
Okay, here we go.
It's come on. It's in the name. Mount St. Helens, mountain, One's rocky and tall and pointy and might kill you if you fall. A hill, if you've seen Hot Rod, you can fall down for pretty much ever and be okay.
You just have a fun time rolling down.
Yeah.
They're very different things.
Mountains even have foothills. Anyways, I know you guys did a great job.
Foothills
and I
leading
love
into
watching
bigger
y'all.
hills.
We love watching y'all. Fight feasts are great.
Well, shout out.
Pound for pound ranks are great.
Oh,
The betting
shout out.
is great. And yeah, peace.
Wow.
We've had 2 people before. Remember the Australian dudes who did like the song together? We have not had a couple yet. That was pretty incredible.
That was it. Yeah, wow. 24-inch dub. Couples. Yuck. I hate it. Cringe.
What? No, I love it.
Fuck off.
Shout out to you guys. Thank you.
Boys, I'm watching the show live right now. And Mailman Hunter versus Mailman Matt, book it. Okay? We're ready. We'll get the contracts out to wherever they're, we can make some room on the upcoming card at the Bojangles Coliseum. Get back to us. Let's make this happen.
Thanks, Don.
Sounds like Mailman Fight League could be a thing if we partner up with Don.
Thanks, Don.
What's up, boys in the back? This is Evan the Mailman again.
Oh, let's go.
I just need to address a few things. First off,
Okay.
the record's wrong. I've had 11 MMA fights and 2 boxing matches to be specific.
Okay.
And I'm not a wrestler. It says Foundation is wrestling. That's wrong. Every one of my losses is from wrestlers stalling against the cage. Look up Evan Hayes versus Robbie Collum or Evan Hayes versus Luke Wilder.
Everybody knows
I did win those
Evan
two,
Hayes
so
versus
don't worry
Robbie
about
Collum.
watching the losses.
Everyone, I found it.
And to the guy who mentioned he doesn't carry dog spray, it's company policy to carry dog spray, buddy, so I think I'll be calling HR. Anyways, GC, don't worry about flying us out to New York. If you don't mind, just give me their route address, fly me out there, I'll whoop their ass, and then I'll finish the route for them. Peace.
I'm currently watching Robbie Collum versus Evan Hayes, Conflict MMA 35, February 20th, 2016.
Is it in Georgia?
Cannot confirm or deny. 1,300 views. This is big time, though.
We looked up Evan's record on Tapology last time, and sounds like that's the right guy.
Sounds like he's legit.
Tapology's got to fix it though. Not wrestling.
Unfortunately,
based,
no.
other
Evan
fights.
did win that one. Congratulations on that dub, Evan.
Good job, Evan.
What's up, boys in the back?
Hey, what's up, man? You all right?
First time, long time. It's Postal Pete, also reporting from South Jersey, throwing my hat into this MFL, Mailman Fighting League, 6'1", heavyweight division, 250, 260, depends on the day, I like to say I'm trying to educate these people a little bit. Some of these mail carriers, they claim to be good. Rural carriers, all they do is drive around all day. Respect to that one guy who said he walks 10 to 12 miles a day. Shout outs to you. That's a real man's man right there. Reporting to you day after the Juneteenth holiday. Truck full of 220 packages, a bunch of newspapers ready to go, and I'll be the first one to say, not an easy job, but shouts out to everybody doing it. But I'm down to go.
Shout out
And
to
I'm
you.
down to show up in the Tucson, baby, in that big old truck. Shout out to Andy.
Shout out to Andy.
Quiero que mi gente de Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, ya tú sabes.
Shout out.
Shout out to him.
That was great. I feel like MMA or MMFL, I feel like it should be like MMA, like Mailman Attack or something like that.
Okay.
MMA, we have to use MMA.
Okay,
Mailman
okay.
something with an A.
I like it.
What's up, boys? James, Charlotte, North Carolina.
What's up, James?
I hear those other mailmen talking, but I'm the final boss. Overtime list? I'm the CPA.
Pound
I'm a
for pound.
CPA
How
coming
many
up
fucking
on a
mailmen
year,
listen to this
working
show?
70-hour weeks. These other carriers couldn't carry my mailbag, or at least my USPS-approved work boots. And not carrying your dog spray? Better not let your union rep hear that. Anyway, fly me out, Don. I'm ready.
You're in.
Fuck. Mailman
You're
Fight
in.
League. Better not let your union rep hear that.
We just need a one-night tournament, 16 mailmen. Winner.
telling you, this is gonna go
winner
viral.
that night. I'm down.
And
honestly.
the tagline for us is "The fights always deliver."
Fuck,
Signed,
that's
sealed,
great.
delivered.
Always
The
deliver.
fights always deliver. We need to shore up the name of the league. I'm thinking we also have an offshoot similar to how BKFC has an offshoot of like on
Ice
ice.
Wars, yeah.
Ice Wars. Ours are Truck Wars, and they fight in the back of a moving mail truck.
Or during like rain, sleet, or snow. Right?
Yeah.
We're never gonna get sanctioned.
Packages flying around while they're like swinging and the truck is
Wait,
going
I
around.
have a question. Should we go the GFL route? Teams, DHL gets a team, FedEx
FedEx
gets a team.
gets
Okay, I've
UPS
said this
gets a
idea
team.
before. Thanks for listening, Jordan. But yes, I'm 100%
This is my first
on
day
that.
on the show, so sorry.
USSPS. I hope you enjoyed your day off yesterday. USPS, DHL, FedEx, UPS. I feel like we can have a lot of teams.
Can we
here.
throw some Amazon in there too? Like
Yeah, Amazon could have their own team
We
now.
could even throw like
Yeah, we
what's
could
it
get
called? Like
Bezos.
Instacart. We'll have some people from
delivery
service like
guys.
that.
We could have some. We could have Bezos be an investor. Yeah, we could have someone from Instacart pull up in like a fucking dumpy Camry and let it
Zuck
rip.
starts his own delivery service. We get Zuck and Bezos in there.
No, that's the drones. They have delivery.
Hey, what's up, boys in the back? It's Mark here,
What's
calling
up, Mark?
from Iceland. I'm just
Iceland.
calling to let you know who the real mailman of the
Shut
show
the
is.
fuck
You've got
up.
mailmen here bragging about working 10 to 12-hour shifts. I do my
It's gone
route in
global.
5 hours and then I'm gone. I have a background in Muay Thai and BJJ, and with my experience as a mailman, I'm ready to deliver my sin to these pretenders' heads. I'm born in Spain. I'm living in Iceland. I've got 2 whole countries behind me. I put the international in International Mailman's League. Let's go, Don. Give me a call, bro.
Icelandic mailman.
Island Posterin. Posterin is the name of it, of the Icelandic post, founded in 1776. Wow.
Shout out.
Incredible.
America.
HQ in Reykjavik. Wow. Number of employees, 580. Mark is one of those. I'm on the website right now. Did you guys know that Iceland, instead of .com, it's .is?
Yes.
You did know that?
Yes.
I did not know.
Find your package. This is, oh my gosh, look at this. Pink
They have
packages.
tracking?
This
There's
is
a pink.
It's like pink packages and their number and their colors is red. This is yeah. You're in. Mark, you're in.
Muay Thai trained.
Come on down, kid. Welcome in. You're signed. we need a mailman contender series.
Okay, are you the face of it? I feel like that's
Yeah. We need a bald white dude to be the face for sure. It worked out so well for the UFC. I'll do it for
I'll be
us.
Hunter. I'll be behind.
Yeah. You're the behind the scenes, the puppeteer. You're Hunter Campbell here, and Frank will be Sean Shelby. I love this. We need T-shirts fast. We need a logo fast.
What's up, boys in the back? Matt the Mailman here from Tallahassee. Go Noel. Shout out Jameis Winston.
Shut up.
I got a few things I need to address here. First off, Hunter, I agree to your terms to meet you inside the PFL Smart Cage. I consider myself a UFC caliber fighter, but I do agree with you. Don Davis needs to get his shit together, and PFL needs a big super fight, so I'm willing to play ball on that. Waiting for GC to send over the bird, and I'll be on the way.
Everyone is into that.
Next up, we got Ethan, I think you said his name was.
Oh, wow, we're calling out multiple
Claims
people.
he's an amateur fighter.
Evan.
Sounds like Buddy just took a local class at his Planet Fitness.
This guy's got like 15 fights.
Oh, he just.
Oh, is that it?
Oh, he just ended it.
I think he called back.
And not the best mic work there from Matt the Mailman.
How's it, bots in the back? My name's Cortez.
What's up, Cortez?
Long time, first time.
Yes.
GC, I was the dude that met you at Penn Station, had the real awkward dap. Sorry about that. I think I was just really excited to see you.
No. I fucked that
I'm
dap
from
up.
Hawaii, and I just came back from Hawaii, and I was enjoying watching cards, not at 10 o'clock at night. It was a great time.
The best.
New York Rick, just curious, where did your wifey go to high school? And what podcast did you listen to this morning? And then for GC and Frank, what book are you guys currently reading? Shout out Andy, shout out Jordan, and shout out Don Davis. Yes.
Shout out to all of them. So the story of the dap, he came in for the dap.
Yeah.
And I went
you went
knuckles, but I wasn't fully committed to the knuckles. So I went.
Did you slap it?
No. I wasn't fully committed to the knuckles. He said, "What's up?" I turned and I was like, "What's up, man?" And simultaneously, I would go knuckles, he goes hand, and then we realize the other is doing that.
Switch.
So we switch, and then I don't try and power through it. I was just I just laugh it off and say, "Damn, we fucked that one up. We fucked that one up." I've been a man who's had countless great daps in my life where it echoes through the hall. We had a good one, the last one in Vegas.
Fucked it up and then we did it.
Fucked it up and then you go again and it echoes through the halls of eternity. The dap is so good. We did not do that at Penn Station. We certainly did not do that at Penn Station.
My wife and I went to the Bronx High School of Science. And this morning I listened to the Zach Lowe show and the Bill Simmons podcast. That was my morning.
Shout out.
Didn't he have something for you too, Frankie? Books? Something about a book?
The books we're reading. Honestly, I've just been reading Conan the Barbarian lately.
I'm reading Simple Path to Wealth. Let me get that investment on, baby.
The first page, like, you should have saved your $5 on this book, and you would have been one step closer to wealth.
You're going to have to read it.
All right.
2 from Hawaii this week, or last week, rather.
Shout out. 2 from Hawaii and 1 from Iceland.
Boys, tried to switch it up on old Double D, huh? Show's on a Tuesday. Well, the streak continues.
This is last week.
This was a great card this past weekend. It's tough to see that happen to a prospect like Kevin Lee, but he fought great, and he will be back. This Friday, 8:30 p.m., we are, of course, in the Wintrust Arena.
This is from last week.
In Chicago, Illinois.
There's no PFL. Wait, is there like an arena event?
My heart.
There's PFL.
Just quickly going through the lineup. Edwards, Silvera, Davis, not me, Cauley, Pettis, Stotts. You got the return of Shoeface versus Simeon Powell.
Dub.
Moltovsky versus Romanov. So it's going to be a great sloppy weight match. And listen, first off, shout out Andy, shout out Jordan, shout out Frank, shout out camera guy Nick. Don't get enough love on this great program. I am out of the PFL Smart Back cave. Okay, we determined what happened. It was an AI body double, and Coachman and Robin, my producer extraordinaire, have encouraged me to return to society. I am walking around out with the people and playing video games again. So Frank, all is forgiven. You know, as you said, we all make mistakes. A friend of mine made a mistake once, getting an event in France canceled, and you know, everyone understood. So, Dune Awakening, great game. Playing that, Sean Brady's killing me. Have you heard of the Exit 8? This might be up your alley, Rick. It's a walking simulator set in a Japanese metro subway passageway. It's a surreal horror type of game. It's apparently been adapted into a feature film that was received something like an 8-minute standing ovation at Cannes. So tell them about it, Frank, and you know, help me get through it because I am pretty much stuck on the first exit.
The Exit 8 walking
See you guys
simulator.
Friday
How
at
did
the
you
Winter
find
Bank
this?
Arena in the glorious Chicago, Illinois, and stay cool out there on the East Coast.
Oh my God.
Escape the endless passageways in this atmospheric walking simulator.
Shout out to you.
You're a
Don.
wild one, Don.
This
You're a wild
reminds me of this game called Desert Bus, where all you do is drive a bus from Tucson, Arizona to Las Vegas.
There's no adventure.
And it's just one constant shot. Penn and Teller did a whole thing on it. It's pretty funny.
Shout out Penn and Teller.
Shout out Penn and Teller, for real. Thank you, Don.
Yo, what's up, boys in the back? It's your boy Mark from Richmond. Calling in about the heavyweight division. Is anybody else just not feeling Aspinall versus Cyril Gane? I mean, it just feels like a lose-lose situation. John Jones is gonna tweet out, "Oh, you didn't finish him as quickly as I did," you know, or if Aspinall beats him, well, John Jones did it first. Who is Cyril Gane anyways? God forbid that Gane beat Aspinall. That absolutely just nukes Aspinall's star power. And Gane did lose to Volkov. You can't tell me otherwise. So I'm just not really sure I'm feeling it. I know we're all big Tom Aspinall fans. I am as well, but I'm just not feeling the fight. You know what I mean? Also, Ariel, get your son a cell phone, man. Your son just became a man, and now he's got to be chasing girls with an iPad. Come on, Ariel. Don't do that to the man. He's becoming a man. Let him be a man. Get the man a cell phone.
Don't do it.
Lastly,
Childhood ends when
I'm
you
coming
get that
for the mailmen. I haven't got my mail in days, man. What are y'all doing? Stop
Wow,
praying
so
for
now
these big
collectors
fights.
of mail.
Give me
They're
my
organizing. Mail
Beach
receivers are getting pissed. Okay, let's do the Cyril Gane part.
There's no better option.
There is no better option. I agree with you that he lost to Volkov. I scored that fight for Volkov. I think he should have won.
Yeah.
Play devil's advocate. Tom Aspinall already fought Volkov, ran right through him. Probably would be a similar outcome this time. And then it's just like, oh, okay, well, he just beat a guy that he's already beaten. Now he can fight Cyril Gane, which is new talent and a big name in the heavyweight division, probably the biggest name in the heavyweight division other than Tom Aspinall. I get what you're saying on the John Jones having already beat him thing, but if he just dusts Cyril Gane, it's just like, hey, man, did the same thing to Cyril Gahn that you did to him, like I am on your level, the worst case scenario
Or even
is,
if he doesn't, he still beat him.
Yeah. The worst case scenario is him losing. Like,
well, yeah,
that is the break glass in case of emergency scenario. But I don't foresee him losing. His finishing capability, his grappling ability, he just has all the advantages. I think he gets it done. And then you go from there. Then it's just like line them up. The key is just getting as many title defenses now. There was two routes to me to get to Aspinall superstardom. It was fight John Jones and win, boom, rocket ship, blast off, or rack up a ton of title defenses, finishing everyone in your path, and become the greatest heavyweight of all time.
There's only 3 fights I care about for Tom Aspinall at the moment. There can be any that emerge. John Jones, Francis Ngannou, Alex Pereira. Those are the only 3. Those are the biggest names. Those are the ones that I think are going to be the most interesting. Everybody else, I'm kind of just like, meh. But to your point, if he racks up 6 of those, 7 of those, 8 of those, all of a sudden it becomes something completely different.
Say he gets to 4 or 5 title defenses.
That's already the record, by the way, at heavyweight.
There is always the potential of someone coming out of nowhere. We don't know. Heavyweight looks bleak, so they might not, but we just don't know. Josh Van came out of nowhere. He made his debut 2 years ago. Tom came out of nowhere. Someone could come along to challenge for that belt. You really do just never know.
It's too early for he will never have a contender, but I am equally uninterested in the Cyril Gahn fight. To me, it is a means to an end. It is a means to getting Tom Aspinall finally now back on track.
I am interested in that fight for the sole reason of I want to watch Tom Aspinall fight.
Exactly.
Yo.
Boys
in the back.
What's up, man?
Jammer.
I was watching the Ariel show the other day, and something flew across the quote-unquote window in the back.
Quote-unquote?
A bird or something. And Ariel said, did something just happen to the screen behind me? Kind of giving away that it is not a real window.
Every window has a screen,
We've
bro.
all suspected it, but can you guys confirm or deny, is that a real window? Can you just open it for us, man? Can we see if it's a real window?
We're way too high up to open
the
it.
rumors, man. We all gotta know. All right,
It's really windy out there.
That looks like a real window to me. If I've ever seen one. I mean,
Boys in the back.
Look at that right
Sam
up.
from Cincinnati, Massachusetts.
On
I got
top
a
of that,
question
this
for
is
you.
how we have to
Would
tell
you
everyone
rather
Ariel's losing his
retire an
mind.
undefeated champion or become a double champion simultaneously? Thank you guys. Have a great day.
I didn't hear what he said.
Undefeated champion or
Boys in
simultaneous
the
double
back.
champ?
This is Sam from Cincinnati, Massachusetts.
Well,
I got a question for you. Would you rather
Frankie
retire
Brown.
an undefeated champion or become a double champion simultaneously? Thank you guys.
Double
Have a
champ
great day.
simultaneously.
I think it depends on how you retire, right? If you're Habib, it's like, okay, my legacy's pretty established. If you're like 14-0 and you retire, probably not,
Yeah.
It depends. Double champ is pretty cool, though.
Pretty cool.
What's up, boys? It's Jake from Collegeville, Pennsylvania.
What's up, Jake?
Got a few things to say. I don't want to take too much of your time here.
Let him rip.
Favorite 2 fighters, Sugar and Charles Oliveira. Got to go to 316. It was a lot of fun, but super disappointing. But here we are, 2 days before probably the biggest fight of my life. I treat this as like my Super Bowl. I've only cried 3 times today so far, about 10 this week. The champion has a name. I've been learning my Portuguese a little bit on Duolingo. O Campanho tem nome. The champion has a name, and the name is Charles Oliveira. One last thing. GC, met you at Bare Knuckle. You're the man. And let me just say, that Eagles jacket, the unlimited aura I got to watch you just walk through that building was ridiculous. But that's all I got to say. Haven't missed this episode since you guys went to Yahoo. You're all the guys. I'll have to call back after Saturday after we have a new lightweight champion. The champion has a name. Charles Oliveira.
Unfortunately, the champion does have a name. His name is Ilia Topuria, and that did not go well for one Charles Oliveira. I'm very sorry for you. I hope you did not cry too much after that. Meeting you at BKFC was sick. Appreciate the love for the jacket. That actually sold for several $100s. Fight Feast worn authentic Eagles jacket. I no longer have it. That jacket was sick, though. That jacket was fucking sick.
No,
I wore it
it's
every second for a weekend, and then I never wore it again. Sold it. Game worn.
This guy would have bought it if you...
Yeah, it's a fucking sick jacket. All-timer.
Hey, this is Lindsay from Nebraska.
Oh, what's up, Lindsay?
Shout out my fiance.
I was going to
Brett from
say,
Nebraska.
this is Brett.
So I went to my first MMA event, the PFL Wichita, and I
get a
have
random-
thoughts for you. First of all, $15 for the club level tickets is pretty good. That's a nice price.
Shout out.
But why are the fees on the $15 ticket $21?
We don't know.
Brett told me to direct my complaints to someone named Don, and he said that
Yeah.
you could get me in touch. So
Yes.
that was great. Thank you. Drinks were good.
Hopefully Don's
Had a
listening.
fun frozen daiquiri. That was fun. Why is Alfie Davis so handsome?
Shout out to Alfie
Just
Davis.
unnecessary when he's getting punched in the face.
Wow.
The fights are pretty good overall, though. Although I did have the best seats in the house for the fight that happened 2 seats over from mine. Shout out to the 6-year-old that got his ass whooped by some 20-year-old kid.
Oh,
Not sure
shout out.
how that happened. Homie got taken out, obviously.
That's tough.
Shout out our guy Archie Colgan.
Shout out Archie
Shout out
Colgan.
Mike Rozier.
Shout out Mike.
And lastly, shout out to all the girlfriends who are forced to listen to this. Thank you.
Forced to listen to this. God damn. Chill.
Alfie Davis has like a Robert Pattinson thing going on.
yeah.
He is quite handsome.
Nah, shout out. The only place you missed on that phone call representing your great fiance Brett was we didn't get a random athlete.
Yeah, you got to shout out a random athlete
that has like loose ties to the Midwest. Otherwise, great stuff.
What's up, boys in the back? This is Cody with a T. First time, long time.
Cody
Just
with
wanted
a
to give a
T.
special shout out to my favorite podcast. And GC, I know it ain't easy putting bets out every single week, especially in the MMA community. You have a bad week. You do not want to give them more free content. But shout out to you. Shout out to Rick. You did something nice for a random stranger on the internet, and then you didn't even try to take credit for it. I got your back for life, big dog. You ever need a body buried, let me know. Frank, you don't need to add me back on Xbox, but you do need to let me follow you. That's right. I found your private Instagram.
Wow.
Went ahead, approve that request, big bro.
He's making
and,
threats.
Jordan,
Blackmail.
Andy, best in the biz, most handsome, most beautiful producers in the biz.
Wow.
But most of
Shots
all,
fired.
shout out James Tahuna.
Shout out James.
Wow, that man came ready to roll. That was great. Man, Andy,
A lot of love for
Andy
everybody.
and Jordan, best looking producers in the game.
I mean, I believe it.
Pizza's going to be mad about that one.
What up, boys?
What's up, bro?
This is Jay from Orlando. Just
What's
a
up, Jay?
quick, I think you guys are fucking hilarious.
You're the man, brother.
But I do have a question.
Oh, God.
What is good
What's good?
with Rick's outfit choice?
Oh, the drip
Like,
is coming into
He
question.
wears things that don't match. The colors are crazy.
Oh, he's talking about
like,
the Vegas.
It's wild. It's super wild. Do you think, brother? I just want to know where the inspiration comes from. Another thing.
2002.
What happens, in your opinion, if Dustin and Max happens, in a few weeks, and Dustin KOs Max now that Ilia already kind of checked his chin? Does Dustin actually call it quits?
Yes.
And do you
Please.
guys think that Max's chin is going to be, diminished in any way
Compromised.
because of the Ilia KO? It's hard to tell, bro, because he took out Charles. Now I'm concerned for Charles's chin too. It's crazy what this dude is doing. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks, guys.
My man.
I mean, we saw. You can't read too much into the chin thing because, we saw Alex Volkanovski get knocked out by Islam, get knocked out by Ilia, and then against Diego, he's eating shots left and right.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's hard to really know. You know when it's gone.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I can't say just off one knockout that Max Holloway's chin is gone. It's one of the most legendary chins ever. So let's just see. I imagine he'll be able to trade with Dustin for quite a bit.
It really is crazy that Ilia knocked him out.
Yeah.
That dude's chin
Stupidly.
was historic.
Yeah. One of the best ever, if not the best ever.
It really is insane.
The fat, I mean, come on. It looked good.
The drip. The Rick drip.
That's 2002.
The socks pulled all the way up tight. The scrunch ratio is atrocious. I'm big on the scrunch ratio.
What is your, give me the ideal.
Pull it up and then I got the Vomeros on today.
Pick that up. So you want a little scrunch in the
Gotta
middle.
get a little scrunch in there. This is wild work right here.
Yeah, that's what I do.
This is crazy shit.
I go higher even.
This is crazy shit. I feel like thigh
highs.
I feel like I should be playing football. Soccer or something right now. This is wild. Yeah.
Legit, I asked
swag.
Rick the other, after he got to Vegas, I was like, those socks that high for compression or something? Something wrong with the calves?
Yeah,
He's like, no, there's a look.
It looks like an old man that's too cold.
Did you see his garter belt where it was
He's
attached?
inspired by Keith
Garter
Venmore.
belt, Frank?
I know I already did it one voicemail, but I just wanted to say shout out to all the boys, Connor, Rick, Frank, On Air, Andy. Have a great July 4th. Don't eat so many hot dogs. I'm out again.
Oh, appreciate you, bro.
That's all of them.
All right.
Sick. We're rolling today, huh?
Yeah,
Hour 20 in.
We're gonna be a short one.
Hey, B Sandu 3 with the GC with the Vomero 5. Shout out. Yeah, I want to get these in a couple colorways. These things are comfortable and they go hard. Do we have any super chats, Frank?
Super chats. We absolutely do. And to start us off, it's Tech Knows with a shout out to the boys in the back crew.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you, Tech.
Is he not just Tech?
Tech always
Yeah.
cashes in on those free ones.
As you should, because, you know. Alaman sends in $4.99. Conor is the first to bring entertainment to the UFC. Ilia will be the first to show the best athleticism of what MMA has.
Appreciate the $5. That's a decent take. I mean, like, he really is showing levels so far to this game.
Nini Hurdy, $4.99. Amazon and One Championship are not renewing. Such a tragic ending for the U.S. expansion goals.
I don't think there was much momentum there, to be honest. Like, that probably was like either a time buy or not much being paid by Amazon there just to have it have broadcast content. Yeah, One's I don't know, man. I don't know how much longer they're going to be around and how much of a player they're going to be. U.S. expansion, I don't think was ever like really going to happen.
I don't think it was ever really going to happen, and I also just don't think they're fully committed to MMA at this point. Yeah. It feels like the Friday night fights with the Muay Thai and the kickboxing and the grappling is where they're shining.
And lastly, Nathan Garcia sends over $20. GC and Rick, love you guys, but when you bring up John Jones in your ranking and you say, oh, it's a checkered or he's had his problems out of the cage, but in the same list you mentioned Mike Tyson, he was in prison for 3 years for rape.
That's true.
Certainly something to acknowledge.
Point.
The point I was making was those are recent for Conor and John,
Yeah.
right? Like Conor's in court right now. Mike Tyson was many years ago, but certainly that is part of the story. So
That's
shout out to you for acknowledging.
Fair play. Appreciate the $20 and appreciate the comment.
But wait.
That's fair play.
There's more. We got one more chat.
Let's do it.
We probably won't have it up on the screen, but it's Cigar Patel sends $10. Who do you think will be the UFC 319 co-main? Armin Justin, what you thinking?
So I saw somewhere on DDP saying randomly that it was going to be Patty versus Gaethje, but obviously that's just like him chatting shit behind the scenes. It feels like they need to add something. I saw rumors of Jeff Neal, Carlos Praches potentially being in the work, but obviously that hasn't been confirmed. But like right now, you need something. Right now, the other fights on the main card are Tim Elliott, Kyle Sakura, Jared Cannonier, Michael Venom Page, and then Edson Barbosa or Drakkar Klose. So it feels like you need one more solid for a co-main.
Yeah, not only that, but we also saw Patty Pimblett's X account say like, I ain't fighting in August.
Yeah.
So I'd pump the brakes on that one.
If you had Armin Gaethje, that'd be a banger pack of 5 fights.
I like that
man.
one.
That would be a banger pack.
Let's go with that for
Down
now.
with
Armin Justin.
August. All right. I feel like that'll about do it here. A little shortened holiday show.
Nothing to preview, so it went quick.
Breaking news here on the back end. Shout out 54, so that's 55. Shout out. That should get us there. No one say it.
Nice.
Let's go. Nice. Breaking news here on the back end. Molly McCann returning to fighting. Damn, fuck off, Jordan. In the boxing space.
Yeah, she's signed with Matchroom.
Congratulations to one Molly McC. Big news.
Other breaking news
over there. Oh yeah.
Rest in peace to actor Michael Madsen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to Michael Madsen.
That hurts.
Yeah. I didn't even see that. When did that happen?
Oh, we were on air.
Damn.
Yeah, 67 years old. Shame. Incredible actor.
That is quite sad. Rest in peace to Diogo Jota of Liverpool, died in a car accident with his brother. That is horrifyingly sad news. Just got married 5 days ago. Sad news today on the program. But that will do it for us here on the Boys in the Back. No programming tomorrow, 4th of July here in the States. So we will be off. Back on Monday with the Ariel Helwani show. Pete Carroll makes his return to the US of A. Not a minute too late to celebrate the 4th of July. It's going to be a big week with him, crescendoing into Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor 3 over at Madison Square Garden. Until then, if you're in the States, enjoy your 4th. If not, enjoy your weekend. And we'll see you back here on Monday. Thanks for watching. Peace!